Hey there, Facebook. I just thought I'd jump on this quick Facebook Live, and just before the sun goes down here, I'm down in Warrnambool, which is just a beautiful part of the coastline down in Victoria in Australia. And I wanted to share this message because I've been rereading this book that I read about 3 years ago, and it's Lovability by Robert Holden. And just such a phenomenal book. Just had so many just beliefs changed by this book in terms of, really understanding, why we do what we do, and really that we have that choice and choosing really love over fear. And without getting too woo-woo about it, it makes that applicable, that message applicable. And one of the quotes that I read last night that I really just wanted to share it again was that the way that we treat ourselves is how we end up treating everyone else. And I thought this is so true, really, that the more that we love ourselves, the more those people around us feel loved by us. And the more we, criticize ourselves, the more we end up criticizing others. The more we judge ourselves, the more we're judging others. The more we blame ourselves, the more we tend to blame others. And I've had this experience today, and it was just so funny that I read this last night, but somebody in my life, not naming any names, was really focused on blame with this scenario that just didn't go the way that they'd planned. And, it turned into this huge big fight between a couple of people in my life. And, it's just such an open book, because I had a chat with this person who was so in the blame game. And, what they said to me was, after we worked through it and I sort of went through a bit of coaching with them, what they actually said was, they were blaming themselves so harshly and they felt so bad about it that they just ended up just projecting all this blame onto somebody else, and it created this big fight. And it just is so true. And we think that these people in our lives are so hard to read, but honestly, if you look at the people in your life and the people that you surround yourself by, and how are these people treating you? How do you feel like they're treating you? And then get out of your own perspective and shift into their shoes and see that exactly how they're treating you is how they treat themselves. And when we can see through their behavior, and I'm not in any way condoning poor behavior here, but when we can see through their behavior, we can give them what they really need instead of criticizing, judging them, pulling them down. We can actually give them what is missing. And ultimately, this book really simplifies, all of our emotions into two different categories. You're either operating from love or you're operating from fear. And when you meet fear with fear, you just get an explosion of more fear. But when you're able to meet that fear with love, which takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of self-awareness, you can actually help get to that person in the right way. You can help transform their fear into love. And, that's where real emotional intelligence comes from, because the definition of emotional intelligence is being able to make a situation better rather than worse based on your response to it. And when you can choose love over fear and see people as an open book, the way that they act when they're behaving poorly, it's because of what's going on inside of them, and they're crying out for love. There's a great book, which actually this one's based off, and it's A Course in Miracles. And the thesis of that book is ultimately that, it's all about choosing love over fear, but it's saying that everything that a person does, every behavior that they have, is either an expression of love or a call for love. There's nothing else. So next time somebody in your life is treating you poorly or treating somebody poorly, be able to see past that behavior and see what they're really calling out for. And I challenge you to have the courage to step up and show love, even though your normal self, your past self, would never do that. And you might be getting really triggered in that moment. But yeah, I challenge you to step up, show love, and give that person what they really need. And that is how you can really help transform the lives of the people that you love most. And I hope that this has been, a fun video for you guys. Let me know, because it's my first Facebook Live I've actually done by myself. So it's a bit of fun. And if you have any questions, or if you have any ideas for some topics that you'd love for me to address, I'd absolutely love that, because I'm going to make a commitment right here, right now, that I'm going to keep doing these and get engagement with you guys and be here to support and answer any questions. And the last thing that I want to say before I say goodnight tonight is, if you haven't already, I would love for you to book in a Discover Your Genius clarity session with me, and let's find out, let's go deeper with you, and let's meet you where you're at currently. Let's look at your biggest challenge, and let's see if we can help you build that self-awareness about who you are, what you want, and that courage to just go after it, and let's get you those results that you're after. So I'll link it up below, and you can book in a session with me, and I'd